Hey everyone, in the last video one of you wanted to see a bit more of my first 3D project, so let's jump right into it. As I mentioned in the video about my first year of game development, I couldn't find the latest version of the game. But what I have found is the footage of my devlogs about it. Maybe some of you might remember them, but anyways, here is the first thing I want to show you. The visual effects. I created them at first in a kinda wrong way, so let's give them a slap. But after I made a pretty simple model in Blender, took the UVs of it and drew a texture above it, I came up with this. Which isn't what a fireball should look like in my opinion, so I played around with the particle system a bit more and got this result. Then I created some more models and added color variations, some more particles and impact effects. And that are the results. So basically there are three types of spells. Those with the extra particles, those without them, and those spear-like things. But now it's time to show you the impact effects and the weird blood splash I made as well. So to show you the blood splash, our little friend over here has to deal with a bit of damage, but I guess that's fine. And because the effect of the yellow spell is pretty similar to the violet one, I'll show you the fireball effect next. I added a light and a nice little shockwave to give the whole thing a bit more boom, if you know what I'm talking about. And to give the spells even more boom, I added destructible items. I mean, what gives you a greater feeling of power than destroying things around you? Exactly. Nothing, which means that in some way, destroying stuff equals unlimited power. But honestly, the game made a lot more fun after adding the ability of destroying barrels and all this stuff. I actually tried to break Unity with this approach, but it withstand. Other than Mace Windu against Sidious, but that's a different story. Our following part of the story is this species created by my mate Alkes. Link to his art station is in the description. Sadly, I quit the project before implementing them into the game, but I'm pretty sure I'll come back to the project someday even if I lost a lot of progress. I just want to publish my current project, the multiplayer horror game The Dog, first, and finally finish my book, which is the pillar of this RPG, but enough about that. Alkes also created this castle made of modular pieces, so I have a lot of freedom creating the actual castle in the game. Another model was this cabin, but I don't have footage of it in game. Which isn't a huge issue because we have a lot other stuff to discover. For example, the AI of the enemy. I know some of you might have already seen it, but this should be a video about the whole game, and the enemy is an important part of it. But stay tuned, there are still things left you haven't seen. And at the end I have a small announcement you might be interested in. So he's chasing you and triggers an attack if you are close enough. Well, he stays in the attack state for some reason, but at least he has fun beating the beautiful fresh air. Anyways, to show you that the potion actually works, I'll jump into his weapon, press the mouse wheel, and voila, the damage got healed. Other features were the minimap, a health, mana and hunger bar, 2 slots to equip potions, 4 to equip weapons, and an inventory which has some massive bugs, but at least you could equip your armor. Which leads us to our next topic, the loot system. I mean, what would a RPG be without loot? And that's why I created those chests. Basically there are all those different kind of chests with a random generated loot in it. Of course this wooden chest doesn't contain as good stuff as this chest, that also means that the wooden chest appears more often and so on. It's nothing too special, so I decided to spice things up by adding a market, which we'll cover now. So besides the fact that this guy is messed up, you could open the shop by pressing E and buy some items. I don't know if this is obvious, but it's inspired by the system in the Pokemon games, and if you bought all the stuff you needed, it appears of course in the inventory. Anyways, here is another feature of a devlog I never uploaded, and that's a dialogue system. I tried once again to be funny, so please don't mind the text too much, because I was kinda stupid back in March. So after this cringe dialogue you'll get the chance to accept or decline this quest, which was already a feature of the game. But let's not dive deeper into it. Instead we'll listen to the fight soundtrack Trevor created and kill some enemies. He also created the track in the beginning of the video. Link to his channel is in the description, but now I'll be quiet. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with him and how a dead person can rotate around, but what I know for sure is that this soundtrack was awesome. And if you have some awesome soundtracks, 3D models, game projects, or any other thing you want to show off, make sure to check out my Twitter account, because every Sunday I'll make a show of your progress day, a small community event where you can tweet your creations with #SoipDay, and I'll retweet my favorites. I'll definitely let you know when I'm continuing with this project. And if you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe and activate the bell. Here you come to the devlogs of my horror game if you are interested, but now thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you in the next video.